Runners for the Coastal Midwest Handicap are now in the enclosure. Race 5 comes up at 2:29.
Race number 5 out of the KBRC is the Coastal Midwest Handicap over 1760 metres. The first horse we'll preview is Freedom Square for Helen Harding and Matty Derrick.
Who's going really well here, Lockie. 2 starts ago, ran second in the Tats Cup behind Rocky Path. Admittedly, that mare didn't really fire in the previous, and then was beaten 7 by Crescent City in the Kalgoorlie Cup, but this is a noticeable drop in grade.
The 2 is Count Grundy, who was a last start winner for Georgia Grant. Today, Sean McGruddy replaces Sean O'Donnell.
Well, I think Brad McManus is on course today. The head behind the fixed odds markets at Tab Touch went up $2.70 about Count Grundy. Now an almost $9 chance here. Unwanted in betting. Good win last start, but I thought that everything else in that field almost had excuses.
The 3 is Vinyl for Ricky Brown and Michael Poy.
Was one of those gallopers. This mare was in the same race as Count Grundy. Got held up for basically the entire length of the home straight. But again, from the inside draw, going to need some luck.
4, Bent Cactus for John Mason and Lakdar Amoli.
Last start maiden winner who goes straight into a Saturday graduation type of race here. So skips past Class 2, Class 5, 58 plus grade, 70 plus grade, goes straight into the deep end.
5, Jarman for Greg Jones and Vic Corver.
Doesn't win out of turn, 735 days since the last win for this 8-year-old, but he's been here to Kalgoorlie twice, a win and a minor. The last win was actually here Cup Day last year.
6, Kelly's Lassie, Nadia Bishop and Peter Nucky.
Who's likely to roll forward into a prominent spot here. I would think that 1760 probably about sees her out.
7, Kenny the King, Joanna Offen and Brandon Louis.
54 kilos after Brandon Louis' claim. Drawn inside of Kelly's Lassie. They are the 2 speed gallopers here, drawn barriers number 5 and 6 respectively. And you think that Kenny the King will beat Kelly's Lassie to the punch and find the fence?
The 8 is Losing Ticket for Melda Daniels and Lisa Staples takes the ride.
10-year-old mare, first up, no trial, 1760. It's a serious ask.
9, Mingora, 460 into 390, Peter Fernie, Clint Johnson-Porter.
Obvious danger to our favourite here in Red Cadillac. If you're not a fan of the favourite in Red Cadillac, then you'd have to be with Mingora after the last start effort.
And 10, Red Cadillac off the 3-day turnaround for Peter Fernie and Chris Parnham.
Sean McGruddy rode on Wednesday here, Lockie, 3 days ago. Went around $1.75 in from $2.60 and was a winner by 4.5 lengths and was absolutely throttled down in the concluding stages. Could have won it by 10.
How do you order the 4?
Look, I went with Red Cadillac. We've seen so far today a couple of winners already off that 3-day backup. We saw Grace de Roy go around on Wednesday victorious. We saw Irritable Rodney go around on Wednesday victorious. And now Red Cadillac, hoping that trend can continue. 10 on top from 9 Mingora, 1 Freedom Square, 3 Vinyl, 10, 9, 1, 3.
10 Red Cadillac on top for Scott at $2.30 with Tab Touch ahead of the Coastal Midwest Handicap.
On their way to the start now for the running of the Coastal Midwest Handicap. They're going to the start. Now they've started moving runners in at the 1760. Coming along, Jarman has been loaded. The favourite, Red Cadillac, raced here Wednesday, destroying its rivals. Vinyl goes in. Old Losing Ticket makes another trip up from the Bay of Isles. Goes in. There's Red Cadillac heading forward for Chris Parnham along with Bent Cactus and Freedom Square. Just a couple that remain out of line for the Coastal Midwest Handicap. Mingora. So Red Cadillac 225, Mingora 380 and Vinyl 6. Top three in the market. Mingora approaching the gates with Kenny the King. They'll be right to go. The starter heading across towards the ladder. Red lights are now on. And they appear to be ready. Lights continue to flash. Oh, there's still one out. And that is Kelly's Lassie. Hidden away here. Behind the buildings over near the 1760 chute. So an attendant clears the gates. A lead rope thrust out the back and they're off and they're racing. Kenny the King jumped very quickly and so did Count Grundy from the inside. McGruddy's keen to lead. Away nicely, Kelly's Lassie pushing through. Vinyl, Jarman behind those. Followed further back when they settle Freedom Square. A length and a half away then the favourite Red Cadillac. Back with the stablemate Mingora Losing Ticket. And last of all is Bent Cactus. Count Grundy got into overdrive early and took them up to the 1400. Into the back they go. McGruddy's wasting no time with Count Grundy, the showy chestnut, led by a length and a half. Kenny the King running third over on the inside. Vinyl a length and a half behind those, galloping along in the clear. Kelly's Lassie after a length and a half to Freedom Square. Jarman next the rail. Then came the 10-year-old Losing Ticket. Red Cadillac well back, but certainly being afforded a very good speed here at the head of the field. Mingora back behind it towards the tail. Bent Cactus as they leave the back of the track. They've got 800 left to go. Count Grundy is the pilot and he's made sure they're going to run it strongly. Kenny the King off the steel with its ears written off second, trying to hold a spot outside of Vinyl. In behind them next of all, Kelly's Lassie looked to be travelling pretty well at the 500 mark. In behind those next on the inside, Freedom Square. Now Red Cadillac was able to extricate off the fence, off heels, off hind quarters and around them four deep, starting to swoop into it very quickly. Jarman getting up on its inside, followed by Mingora Losing Ticket into the straight. Count Grundy led them. It's Count Grundy at the 275 now. Here comes the Cadillac. It's starting to hit overdrive. Red Cadillac reaches the lead from Jarman. Vinyl back on the inside. Red Cadillac's the leader. Vinyl, Jarman keep coming. He has to get desperate. Red Cadillac, Vinyl, Red Cadillac. They'll go to it. Red Cadillac. Red Cadillac's gone back to back from Wednesday. Wins it a whisker from Vinyl. They dropped off Jarman, Count Grundy, and also there, but running on Bent Cactus. Behind them, Freedom Square. Next home, Kelly's Lassie, Losing Ticket. Kenny the King a long way back. And last is Mingora. Number 10 is the winner, Red Cadillac. Desperate ride by Chris Parnham. Back near the rail, but he was able to, at a very, very psychological moment on Charles Street, start getting off the back of heels and hindquarters and then come four deep, have Jarman kick up on his inside and then really have to go to war as Vinyl kept coming. Jarman battled, but Red Cadillac prevailed for Peter Fernie and makes it back-to-back here on Hannon's and now Kalgoorlie Cup Day. Great effort. Not anywhere near as impressive as what it was on Wednesday when he won by 5, hard held. Today it was a totally desperate ride by Chris Parnham to get the horse home and just win by all too hard from Sublime Girl, Peter Fernie, Chris Parnham for Andrew Ingles and Miss Kay McNaught. The interim numbers are 10, 3, 5 and 2. 10, 3, 5 and 2. Vinyl second for Ricky Brown, Michael Poy by Extravagant from Jig Time Lady. Third 5, Jarman by Skilled from Talia, Greg Jones, Victoria Corver, Count Grundy, who ensured they were going to run that nice and strongly, is fourth home, handled by Sean McGrady. Ahead 2 lengths, the official margins, 1:48.80 the time, 35.92 the concluding 600 there of the 5th event. Race 6, the Ron Sayers Memorial Sprint. The next of the day is a $100,000 event. The support feature here this afternoon over 1,100 metres. They'll jump at 10 minutes after 3, and there are no changes to come in the next on the card. Let's go downstairs, and it's been a very, very successful day for those horses that ran on Wednesday that have been good enough to come here to the Cup meeting and back up just as successfully, Lockie.
It certainly has, Darren. The third horse to back up off 3 days and be successful here this afternoon. Winning trainer Peter Fernie joins me now. Pete, Red Cadillac, the mare, she was dominant on Wednesday afternoon. What's the last 3 days actually look like for her?
Oh, she worked every day except for this morning. She went out and we trotted her and gave her a swim and just tried to keep her happy. She ate really well. So we just kept her hydrated, and she's done really well since. So she most probably wasn't as brilliant the other day, so it did knock her around a little bit, but at least she still got the job done.
The fact that she was so dominant the other day on Wednesday afternoon, did that make you somewhat reserved in the fact that you were going to back her up only 3 days later?
I was always in our plan to do it, and I think if she was ever going to win like a Saturday stake race, it was that race then today. So we had to really go for that anyway.
Despite the fact that she's won twice now in as a matter of 3 days, do you still feel that she's a little bit limited?
Oh, I think she's got really good ability, but I'm still working her out. I haven't had her a long time, and she's done a good job since we've bought her, so we'll just keep plodding along, and there's no rush with her.
In the next race, the Ron Sayers Memorial Sprint, a race I'm sure many people up in here in Kalgoorlie would love to win. It's a 3-pronged attack. Talk it up, can't be done, and play that funky music. Who's the best of the 3?
Oh, most probably can't be done each way, I think.
Hopefully we're talking again soon. Well done.
Thanks.
There's Peter Fernie after the win of Red Cadillac. Her second win in almost as many days. The numbers out of race number 5 were 10, 3, 5 and 2.
And it's correct weight to the previous on the card. 10, 3, 5, 2. Weight notified with race 6, the Ron Sayers Memorial at 10 after 3.